Assalamu alaikum. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. This is Dr. Umbreen Shaheen from University of Balochistan Zoology Department. I am basically a bio-nanotechnologist, and in my lab most of the students are working with nanoparticles. So what are nanoparticles and why we are interested in nanotechnology? So for the people who may not be aware of the recent advances or even about the nanotechnology, for them it's this slide is just for as an introduction that nanoparticles are very small particles, that is at nanoscale level, that is 10 raised to power minus 9 meter approximately equal to. And why we are interested in nanoparticles? Because they have very unique optical and physicochemical properties. We can see them easily, we can characterize them easily, and unlike most of the people think that they are very expensive, but they are not if you are working with them at the nanoscale level. Okay, so there are so many applications of different type of nanoparticles, but here I will consider, or we are working with silver nanoparticles, so I will only give those applications. For example, they have documented antibacterial, antimicrobial, antifungal activity, and at nanometer size, at ionic and they are least toxic compared to the ionic silver salts. That's why people are making so many products using silver nanoparticles for anti-malarial activity, for anti-fungal activity, and that is what we did as well. So my MPhil student Bilqees Fatima has worked recently. She finished it. That work is not published yet, so we are looking for very good journal to publish this work. So we prepared silver nanoparticles in our lab, and with the help of a microbiologist, Dr. Imran, we were able to grow the pure culture of bread fungus in our lab as well. And then we estimated the antifungal activity of our silver nanoparticle on this bread fungus. So you might be aware of the fact that bread fungus, that is Rhizopus species, spoil the food, and also they have many effects like on disease, on human being as a disease causing agent, especially for diabetic patients and for the patients who have compromised immune system. So this fungus is very dangerous. So it is a simple methodology of our research work or research design, that is we cultured the fungus, we identified the fungus, then we synthesized and characterized our silver nanoparticles, and then we estimate the fungicidal activity of our silver nanoparticles. So here you can see that we have fungus. First we grew it on the bread, then we inoculated it into the sterile medium, and then we tried to figure out the pure culture by subculturing that fungus again and again. So then we were able to identify or sort out our bread fungus on which we were trying to work, and by Google images we found out that it is pretty much the same species on which we were looking to work on. So there are some UV-vis spectra and peak images and some makings of nanoparticles in our lab. As you can see, you can make nanoparticles on a very small scale using simple lab equipment, that is hot plate. And yes, most of the people are maybe of thinking that UV-vis is not the ultimate source of characterizing our nanoparticles, but this is an estimation of the size. Of course, the UV-vis can give the estimated size of nanoparticle and somehow the quality. As you can see in this spectrum here, that there is a sharp peak, which is an indication of monodispersity of silver nanoparticles. And yes, we did some other characterization as well, for which we didn't show the images here. So now it is the final slide in which we tried to, and we are showing only 3 plates, but we did these experiments in triplicate at least 2 or 3 times to figure out our average and standard deviations as well. So here you can see that in P1, P2 and P3 it's a gradual change in the concentration of nanoparticles. So P1 has the most concentrated particle, then least, and then the further less particle. So you can see here at the day 3 there is not much difference, but at day 7 we have less growth in highly concentrated petri dishes of silver nanoparticle compared to the less concentrated nanoparticles. So we were able to show that yes, nanoparticles do have a effect in fashion of concentration, like with the increase of concentration of nanoparticles there is an activity, antifungicidal activity of silver nanoparticles. So thank you very much for listening us. Time gone?
1 minute 15 seconds.
Okay.
Now can stop, friends.